Life is not a puzzle to be solved, it is a phenomenon to be experienced. The journey of self-discovery is not about finding something outside of yourself, it is about realizing what is already within you. Everything you seek is already present, yet veiled by layers of conditioning, opinions, and unexamined beliefs. The process of uncovering these layers is the adventure we call life. The first step is to recognize that you are not just a collection of thoughts, emotions, or social identities. You are something far deeper, a presence that transcends these transient aspects. But how often do we pause to feel this presence? We live in the noise of the mind, ignoring the silence of the soul. To embark on this journey, you must be willing to question everything you think you know. Who are you beyond the name, beyond the roles, beyond the mask you wear in society? These are not philosophical questions, they are the foundation of your existence. If you do not explore this, life will remain a superficial experience. The journey is not always comfortable. You will face parts of yourself that you have buried or ignored. Your fears, insecurities, and doubts will rise to the surface, not to defeat you but to liberate you. When you confront these aspects with awareness, they lose their grip on you. True self-discovery requires dropping the stories you tell yourself. The story of what you should be, what you ought to achieve, or how others perceive you. These stories may bring temporary comfort, but they are ultimately prisons of your own making. Freedom lies in seeing yourself as you are, not as you imagine yourself to be. Stillness is the key. In stillness, you begin to perceive life not as a series of events, but as a vast interconnected flow. In this space, you understand that your sense of separateness is an illusion. You are not apart from life, you are life itself. The inward path to realization begins with the simple acknowledgement everything you are searching for lies within you. This understanding is not intellectual, it is experiential. Life often pushes us to look outward for solutions, for fulfillment, for meaning. We think that by accumulating achievements, possessions, or relationships, we can somehow complete ourselves. But the truth is, no external acquisition can bring lasting peace or clarity. The inward journey asks you to shift your focus. Instead of chasing answers in the world, turn your gaze inward. It is about recognizing that your mind, which is constantly racing from one thought to another, is not the master of your being. The mind is a useful tool, but it becomes a barrier when it dominates your life. Beneath the noise of the mind is a deeper stillness, an awareness that is untouched by the chaos of the outside world. This path is not about abandoning the world, it is about seeing it with new eyes. When you begin to realize that your sense of self is not tied to what you possess or what others think of you, you start to experience freedom. It is not freedom from responsibilities or relationships, but freedom from the false identifications that weigh you down. The process requires courage because it often brings you face to face with the parts of yourself you have ignored or denied. But these moments of discomfort are gateways to greater understanding. When you stop resisting, you allow yourself to fully experience and integrate these aspects. They are not your enemies, they are simply parts of you that need attention and acceptance. The inward path is a journey into the essence of who you are. It is about peeling away the layers of conditioning, opinion, expectation that have been placed upon you by society and by yourself. As these layers fall away, you begin to experience a profound sense of clarity. Life no longer feels like a struggle, it becomes a natural, flowing expression of your true self. This journey does not demand perfection, it asks only for sincerity and willingness. It is not a destination, but a way of being, a constant unfolding of the infinite potential within you. Each step inward reveals a deeper connection to life, to others, and to the boundless nature of existence itself. Understanding your true nature is not about acquiring new knowledge or achieving a certain state. It is about unlearning the illusions you have come to believe about yourself. From the moment you are born, you are conditioned to identify with labels, roles, and expectations. You are taught to see yourself as a collection of these external definitions: your name, your profession, your relationships. But none of these truly define you. They are merely aspects of your experience, not the essence of your being. To understand your true nature, you must first ask, who am I beyond these roles and labels? This question is not to be answered with words but with direct experience. You are not your body, though it is a vehicle for your existence. You are not your thoughts, for they come and go like clouds in the sky. You are not even your emotions, though they may feel deeply personal. The essence of who you are lies beyond all of these fleeting phenomena. Your true nature is the awareness that perceives all of this. It is the silent witness that remains constant, no matter how much the circumstances of life change. This awareness is not limited by the boundaries of your mind or body. It is infinite, unchanging, and ever present. It is the source of your aliveness, the very ground of your being. The challenge is that this awareness is subtle while the mind and senses are loud and demanding. The mind seeks to categorize and analyze, but your true nature cannot be grasped through intellectual effort. It can only be experienced in moments of stillness when the chatter of the mind subsides and you simply are. Understanding your true nature brings a profound sense of freedom. When you realize that you are not confined by the narratives of the mind, you stop seeking validation from the outside world. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth, for you recognize that your very existence is enough. This realization does not make life dull or passive. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with life more fully without the weight of self-imposed limitations. When you live from this understanding, life becomes an expression of authenticity. You move through the world with a sense of ease, knowing that no success or failure can diminish who you truly are. This is not a belief or philosophy, it is the deepest truth of your being waiting to be discovered. The power of self-inquiry lies in its simplicity and depth. It is not about accumulating knowledge or mastering techniques. It is about turning your attention inwards and questioning the assumptions you have always taken for granted. Most people live their lives on autopilot, rarely pausing to ask the fundamental questions: who am I? What is the source of my thoughts and emotions? What remains when all external identities are stripped away? Self-inquiry is not an abstract or intellectual exercise, it is an experiential process. When you ask, who am I? You are not looking for a verbal answer. Instead, you are inviting yourself to look beyond the surface, beyond the layers of identity that have been built over time. You are questioning the foundation of your perceived reality, peeling back the layers of illusion to uncover the truth of your being. The mind will resist this process. It thrives on distractions, complexities, and stories that keep you tethered to a false sense of self. When you engage in self-inquiry, you challenge these stories. You begin to see that many of your thoughts, beliefs, and even emotions are borrowed from societal conditioning or past experiences. They are not inherently yours, they are constructs that you have mistaken for reality. Through self-inquiry, you learn to observe these constructs without judgment. You realize that you are not the mind or its contents, but the awareness that perceives them. This shift in perspective can be profound. It dissolves the boundaries that separate you from life, allowing you to experience a deeper sense of unity and freedom. Self-inquiry is not about rejecting the mind or the world, but about understanding their transient nature. It shows you that while thoughts and experiences come and go, the awareness behind them remains constant. This awareness is your true self, untouched by the turbulence of life. The practice of self-inquiry also reveals how much of your suffering stems from identification with things that are impermanent. When you believe you are your achievements, failures, or possessions, you become vulnerable to the ups and downs of life. But when you recognize that your essence is beyond all of this, you find a deep inner stability that cannot be shaken. The beauty of self-inquiry is that it requires nothing external. You do not need rituals, scriptures, or external validation. All that is needed is a sincere willingness to look within. The answers are not outside you, they are within, waiting to be revealed through your own direct experience. This practice is both humbling and empowering. It humbles you by showing you the vastness of existence and the limitations of the ego. At the same time, it empowers you by revealing that you are not separate from this vastness you are it. This realization is the essence of freedom, the foundation of a life lived in clarity and truth. Embracing and overcoming inner fears is an essential part of the journey to self-discovery. Fear, in its many forms, often holds us back from realizing our true potential. It is not fear itself that is the problem, but our avoidance of it. Fear thrives in the shadows, growing larger when ignored, yet it diminishes when we bring it into the light of awareness. To overcome fear, the first step is to embrace it. This may seem counterintuitive, but avoiding or suppressing fear only strengthens its grip. When you turn toward your fears with openness and curiosity, you begin to see them for what they truly are. Fear is often a projection of the mind, a reaction to imagined scenarios or past experiences. It is rarely rooted in the present moment. When you observe fear without judgment, you separate yourself from it. You realize that fear is not who you are, it is merely a sensation or thought arising in your awareness. This shift in perspective is powerful. It allows you to face fear not as an enemy but as a teacher. Fear shows you where you are still holding on, where you are resisting life. Embracing fear does not mean succumbing to it. It means acknowledging its presence without letting it dictate your actions. You become an active participant in your life, rather than a passive victim of your emotions. This requires courage, but courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it, trusting that you are capable of moving through whatever arises. The process of overcoming fear also involves questioning its validity. Many of our fears are based on assumptions or unexamined beliefs. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is this fear rooted in reality, or is it a story my mind has created? Often you will find that the fear loses its power when you challenge it with clarity and logic. At times, fear may bring discomfort, but discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of growth. When you step into the unknown, you naturally feel uncertain. Yet, it is in this space of uncertainty that transformation occurs. Each time you face fear and move beyond it, you expand your sense of what is possible. Overcoming fear is not about eliminating it entirely. Fear is a natural part of being human. Instead, it is about developing a new relationship with fear, one based on understanding and acceptance rather than avoidance. When you no longer resist fear, it loses its power to control you. As you embrace and transcend fear, you begin to experience life with greater freedom and authenticity. You discover that the barriers you once thought insurmountable were in fact illusions. Fear becomes a doorway, not a wall. On the other side of that doorway lies the vast potential of your true self, waiting to be realized. Letting go of limiting stories is a profound act of liberation. From a young age, we construct narratives about ourselves based on experiences, societal influences, and the expectations of others. These stories often serve as a framework for understanding the world and our place in it. But over time, many of these narratives become chains, binding us to a version of ourselves that is far smaller than what we are capable of being. These stories often sound like I am not good enough, I always fail, or this is just who I am. They are not truths but interpretations, shaped by past experiences and reinforced by repetition. The mind clings to these stories because they provide a sense of identity, even if that identity is limiting. It feels safer to stay within the boundaries of what is familiar than to venture into the unknown. The first step in letting go is recognizing that these stories are not you. They are not fixed realities, but thoughts that you have chosen consciously or unconsciously to believe. Begin by observing the narratives that play in your mind. Notice how they influence your decisions, relationships, and self-perception. Awareness is the key to breaking free. Once you are aware, question the validity of these stories. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it a habit of thinking I have fallen into? Often you will find that these narratives crumble under scrutiny. They are built on assumptions rather than facts, on fears rather than truths. Letting go does not mean denying your past or dismissing your experiences. It means acknowledging them without allowing them to define you. You are not the sum of your mistakes or the victim of your circumstances. You are a dynamic, evolving being capable of creating new possibilities at any moment. This process also requires self compassion. As you uncover and release these limiting stories, you may encounter resistance or guilt. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that these narratives served a purpose at one time, perhaps to protect you or help you cope. But now they no longer serve your growth. Replacing limiting stories with empowering ones is not about creating another rigid identity. It is about embracing the fluidity of who you are. Instead of saying, I am this, you begin to say, I am open to becoming. You step into a space of freedom where your potential is not confined by the past. As you let go of these stories, life begins to feel lighter. You are no longer weighed down by the expectations and judgments you once imposed on yourself. You start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, connection where you once felt separation. Letting go is not a one-time act but an ongoing practice. Each time a limiting story arises, meet it with awareness and inquiry. Over time, the grip of these narratives weakens, and you discover a deeper truth that you are not defined by your stories. You are the one who writes them, and at any moment you have the power to begin a new chapter. The role of stillness in awareness is profound, for it is in stillness that the noise of life subsides, revealing the essence of who you truly are. In the world today, we are constantly surrounded by activity, distraction, and the unrelenting chatter of the mind. The mind races from thought to thought, analyzing the past, projecting into the future, and rarely pausing in the present. This state of constant motion keeps us disconnected from our deeper awareness. Stillness is not merely the absence of noise or activity, it is a state of being where you are fully present, undisturbed by external circumstances or internal fluctuations. It is a doorway to your natural state of awareness, a space where clarity and insight arise effortlessly. In stillness, you are no longer entangled in the fleeting dramas of life. Instead, you begin to witness everything from a place of centered calm. This stillness cannot be imposed or forced. It emerges when you stop resisting life and allow yourself to simply be. Many believe that stillness is something to achieve, but it is not a goal. It is the foundation that already exists within you. It is obscured by the mind's ceaseless activity, like the sun hidden behind clouds. When the clouds part, the sun is revealed not because it was created, but because it was always there. In stillness, the mind's restless tendencies begin to settle. Thoughts may still arise, but you are no longer carried away by them. Instead, you observe them as they come and go, like waves on the surface of a vast ocean. This shift from identification with thoughts to witnessing them creates space between you and the mind. In this space, awareness blossoms. Through stillness, you also discover the interconnectedness of all life. When the mind quiets, the boundaries you perceive between yourself and the world begin to dissolve. You realize that you are not separate from life but an integral part of its flow. This understanding is not intellectual, it is an experience that arises naturally in the depth of stillness. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, or simply sitting in silence can help you cultivate this state, but stillness is not confined to these moments. It is something you carry with you, a thread of presence that weaves through every aspect of your life. Whether you are in the midst of chaos or alone in nature, the stillness within you remains unchanged, accessible at any moment. The transformative power of stillness lies in its ability to shift your perspective. You stop reacting to life from a place of agitation or fear and start responding from a place of clarity and balance. In this state, decisions become intuitive, relationships deepen, and the small joys of life are no longer overlooked. Stillness allows you to see yourself and the world as they truly are, unfiltered by the distortions of the mind. In this state of pure awareness, you realize that peace is not something to be sought, it is the essence of your being, revealed in the quiet moments of simply being present. Returning to authenticity is not about becoming someone new, it is about shedding everything you are not. Over time, layers of conditioning, societal expectations, and self imposed limitations obscure your true nature. You begin to live according to roles, labels, and ideals that may not align with who you genuinely are. This disconnect creates a subtle, yet persistent, sense of unease, a feeling that something essential is missing. Authenticity begins with honesty with yourself. It requires courage to look at the masks you wear, the compromises you make, and the ways you seek approval or validation from others. These habits are not signs of weakness, they are strategies you develop to navigate the world. However, they often come at the cost of your inner freedom. To return to authenticity, you must first recognize these patterns without judgment. Observe the ways in which you conform to expectations that do not resonate with you. Notice the moments when you suppress your true feelings or opinions out of fear or desire to fit in. These observations are not meant to create guilt, but to bring awareness to the ways you have moved away from yourself. Once you see where you have strayed, the next step is to realign with your inner truth. This does not mean rejecting the world or isolating yourself. It means living in alignment with your values, your passions, and your deeper sense of purpose. Authenticity is not about perfection. It is about embracing your wholeness, including your flaws, vulnerabilities, and strengths. As you return to authenticity, you may encounter resistance from within and from others. The world often rewards conformity, and stepping into your true self can feel like stepping into the unknown. But the discomfort of this process is temporary. The freedom and fulfillment that come from living authentically far outweigh the challenges of getting there. Authenticity also means letting go of the need to control how others perceive you. You cannot please everyone, nor should you try. When you live authentically, you attract people and opportunities that resonate with your true self rather than those drawn to a facade. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections and a sense of belonging that is rooted in truth. Returning to authenticity is not a one-time event, it is a continual practice. Life will always present opportunities to stray from your truth, and each moment is an invitation to choose alignment over compromise. With each choice, you strengthen your connection to your authentic self. Living authentically is not only liberating for you, but also inspiring for others. When you embody your true nature, you give permission to those around you to do the same. Authenticity becomes a ripple effect, creating a space where people feel safe to be themselves. In authenticity, life becomes simpler and more profound. You stop striving to be someone you are not and begin to celebrate who you are. This shift brings a deep sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment. It is a return to your natural state, a state of being fully alive, fully present, and fully you. Transforming joy and peace into your essence is not about achieving something external. It is about recognizing that these qualities are already an inherent part of who you are. Joy and peace are not distant goals to be reached, but the natural state of your being when the layers of mental clutter and emotional turmoil are cleared away. Most people seek joy and peace outside themselves. They chase experiences, relationships, possessions, or accomplishments, hoping these will bring lasting happiness. But the joy derived from external sources is fleeting because it depends on circumstances that are ever changing. True joy and peace are independent of the external world. They arise from within and remain steady regardless of life's ups and downs. The transformation begins with awareness. Observe how often you tie your sense of peace to specific outcomes or conditions. I'll be happy when I achieve this, or I'll feel at peace if this problem is resolved. These thoughts create a cycle of dependency, where your well-being is constantly at the mercy of external factors. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking free. To shift from seeking joy to embodying it, start by cultivating presence. Joy and peace are most accessible in the present moment, yet the mind is rarely here. It dwells on the past or projects into the future, missing the richness of now. By practicing mindfulness, whether through meditation, deep breathing, or simply observing the world around you, you bring your attention back to the present, where your natural state of being resides. Another key aspect is letting go of resistance. Much of our suffering comes not from the events of life, but from our resistance to them. When you accept life as it is without judgment or struggle, you create space for peace to arise. Acceptance does not mean passivity, it means meeting each moment with clarity and equanimity, responding rather than reacting. Joy and peace also flourish when you connect with your true nature. When you stop identifying with the transient aspects of yourself, your thoughts, roles, and emotions, and rest in the awareness that observes them, you discover a wellspring of calm and contentment. This is not a theoretical realization, it is something you can experience directly when you turn inward. Gratitude is another transformative practice. When you consciously focus on the abundance in your life, no matter how small, you shift your energy from lack to fulfillment. Gratitude amplifies your awareness of joy and helps anchor it in your daily experience. Over time, as you nurture these qualities, they become less of a fleeting experience and more of a constant presence. You no longer see joy and peace as things to pursue, they become the foundation from which you live. Challenges and difficulties may still arise, but they no longer shake your inner stability. Instead, you meet them with a sense of calm and resilience. This transformation is not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it more fully. When joy and peace are your essence, your interactions with others become more harmonious, your actions more purposeful, and your life more vibrant. You stop chasing happiness and start radiating it. This state of being is not reserved for a select few, it is available to everyone willing to look within and nurture it. In this way, joy and peace cease to be fleeting moments and become your natural way of existing, a reflection of the limitless potential and beauty of your true self. The journey of self-discovery is not a destination but an ongoing process, one that unfolds over the course of your entire life. It is a dynamic and ever-evolving exploration of your inner world, a path that deepens with every step you take. The moment you believe you have fully discovered yourself, you close the door to further growth. For the self is boundless and its mysteries cannot be contained within any finite understanding. Each phase of life brings new challenges, insights, and transformations, all of which reveal different aspects of who you are. The person you were yesterday is not the same as the one you are today. Your thoughts, emotions, and experiences are in constant motion, and so too is your understanding of yourself. Recognizing this impermanence allows you to embrace the fluidity of your being rather than clinging to fixed identities or definitions. Self-discovery requires a willingness to stay open, curious, and humble. It involves questioning the beliefs and assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. What you once thought to be true may no longer serve you as you grow and expand. This process can be uncomfortable as it often challenges the comfort zones and certainties you have built around you. Yet, it is in this discomfort that true growth occurs. Life itself becomes your greatest teacher on this journey. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, mundane or extraordinary, is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. How do you respond to challenges? What triggers you? What lights you up with passion? Each moment of awareness adds a new layer to your understanding. Self-discovery is not just about uncovering your strengths or aspirations, it is also about confronting the parts of yourself that you may avoid or suppress. The shadow aspects, your fears, insecurities, and doubts hold valuable lessons. By bringing them into the light, you integrate them, transforming them from obstacles into stepping stones. At its core, self-discovery is a practice of presence. It is about being fully engaged with life as it is, rather than being lost in the illusions of the past or future. When you live in the present, you connect with the essence of who you are, beyond the roles and narratives that the mind creates. This journey also requires patience and self compassion. There will be moments of clarity and insight, but there will also be times of confusion and struggle. These fluctuations are natural and they do not signify failure. Like a river carving its way through rock, the process of self discovery is gradual but transformative. Importantly, self discovery is not a solitary pursuit. Relationships, community, and the world around you reflect aspects of yourself that you may not see on your own. Through connection with others, you gain new perspectives, challenge your assumptions, and expand your awareness. The ongoing nature of self discovery is what makes life so vibrant and meaningful. Each day is an invitation to go deeper, to explore new dimensions of yourself, and to express your truest essence. It is not about becoming someone different, but about uncovering the infinite potential and wisdom that already exists within you. In this unfolding journey, there is no final destination, only the continuous revelation of the profound mystery that is you. The more you explore, the more you realize there is always more to discover, and in that realization lies the beauty of being alive. Flowing with life and reflecting the infinite is about aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of existence and recognizing that you are not separate from its boundless nature. Life, like a river, is in constant motion, flowing moments through moments of joy, challenge, growth, and stillness. To flow with life is to embrace this movement, letting go of resistance and trusting in the unfolding of each moment. Resistance arises when you try to impose your will on life, clinging to what feels comfortable or striving to control what is uncertain. This effort to force life into a predefined shape creates tension, frustration, and suffering. Flowing with life means releasing the need to control and learning to dance with the unpredictability of existence. It is not a passive surrender, but an active engagement with what is, meeting life as it comes with openness and adaptability. This state of flow requires a deep sense of presence. When you are fully present, you no longer fight against the current of life by dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Instead, you immerse yourself in the now, allowing the wisdom of the moment to guide you. In this space of presence, you realize that life itself is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Reflecting the infinite means understanding that you are not just a small, separate being navigating the vastness of life. You are a part of life's infinite expression, a unique facet of the whole. Just as a single wave is inseparable from the ocean, you are inseparable from the larger existence. This realization dissolves the illusion of separation and connects you to a deeper sense of unity and belonging. When you reflect the infinite, you stop identifying solely with the surface aspects of life, your thoughts, roles, and possessions. Instead, you connect with the timeless essence within you, the unchanging awareness that observes all experiences. This essence is not limited by the boundaries of the mind or the body. It is vast, expansive, and eternal, mirroring the infinite nature of life itself. Flowing with life does not mean avoiding challenges or difficulties. It means approaching them with a sense of equanimity and trust, knowing that every twist and turn of the river has its purpose. Even the turbulent waters are part of the journey, shaping you and deepening your understanding. When you stop resisting and start flowing, you find that the very obstacles you once feared can become stepping stones to greater clarity and growth. This way of living also transforms how you perceive success and fulfillment. Rather than striving for a fixed destination, you find joy and meaning in the journey itself. Each moment becomes an opportunity to express the infinite within you, to create, connect, and contribute in ways that align with your true nature. To flow with life and reflect the infinite is to live in harmony with the essence of existence. It is a state of surrender not to defeat, but to the wisdom of life's unfolding. It is a recognition that, like the river, you are always in motion, and like the sky, you are vast and limitless. In this alignment, life becomes not a struggle to overcome, but a beautiful, evolving dance. You move with grace, respond with authenticity, and radiate the infinite potential that resides within you. This is not something you need to attain, it is who you have always been, waiting to be remembered and expressed. And so, as you move through this journey of life, remember that the flow of existence is not separate from you, it is you. Trust in its wisdom, embrace its unfolding, and let go of the need to control every turn. Reflect the infinite nature that resides within, allowing its boundless energy to shine through your thoughts, actions, and being. In this way, life ceases to be a series of challenges to overcome or destinations to reach. It becomes a harmonious dance, a sacred expression of the infinite in motion. When you live in alignment with this truth, you do not merely negate life, you embody its essence. You are the river, the ocean, the sky eternal, limitless, and profoundly connected. Let this realization guide you so that every moment, no matter how small or grand, becomes an opportunity to flow, to reflect, and to simply be.